So then we can spawn a knight in the next room.
I figured. I started shooting him when you said shoot him.
Yeah. Because we're supposed to have like kind of a snowball effect. The first ones, yeah, we're gonna have to shoot to start the knights. And then it's just a snowball effect after that.
Light or dark, nothing changes. Everything dies.
I hate this game.
Light and dark have met in the Sol system before. Perhaps this time, you'll change the outcome.
That's on me.
Worse.
What am I doing wrong? Yep.
Greetings, Guardians. My name is Bonfire. So it's time for a new season, and as the centerpiece to the season and launch day, we have a new dungeon which we're exploring in the realms of the Nine, with the assistance of the Drifter and Eris Morgan. This dungeon is, of course, called Prophecy. But what's happening in this dungeon? What's the significance of it in the story of Destiny, both now and going forward? Well, I think there's a really cool set of lore tidbits here that we can touch on and explain, and something that I think informs future expansions, namely Beyond Light. So, with all of that said, we're going to jump forward into this lore in just a moment, because we have actually got a couple of important topics that I want to touch on first. The first thing I really want to say is that myself and WTF Game Nation at this time of year normally do a thing called St. Jude. It is our month-long charity effort to help raise money for the kids at St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital.
I can't see it from
With all
there.
of that said, this year, however, is a little different. We are still doing St.
Where is this?
Jude,
On me? I
but
found
not in
Poland.
the same kind of capacity as we were before. We understand that what with the current
I see
situation,
it.
it's a little
Top
bit
right.
trickier to raise money and funds for anything charitable, so we are condensing our fundraising efforts this year down to a single event. Those of you who do wish to support, you can also show up to our GCX event, which is going to be separate from all of that. That
Left.
is going to be later in a couple of weeks' time.
Right, top left.
GCX Charity Marathon.
Nope,
When it
middle
comes
left.
down to the rest, you can go ahead and see us later at the end of the month, where we'll be doing our traditional
I got far.
raid-a-thon. There will be donation goals
Yep.
in the GCX stream that relate to that. But if you want to go ahead and support St. Jude, and if you want to go ahead and help our particular charitable effort out, all you need to do is go ahead and show up at that particular stream. And if you have any money to spare, and if you are feeling generous, go ahead and donate it here. I say this now knowing that it's a very different year, and I understand that the expectations are very different. So with all that said, I understand if the answer is that you can't donate. However, if you can just show up to the stream, it makes an immense difference. And so I will have more details on when those streams are in the coming days. With all that said, let's get back to the lore and let's talk about the dungeon, which is by far one of the most visually striking environments in all of Destiny. The reason for this is because it's in the realm of the Nine, who are in themselves sort of out of this universe. They're dark matter, given sentience and form by living beings in our universe, and they are kind of on our side, albeit with a tendency to assist in sort of mysterious and less obvious ways. The dungeon, known as Prophecy, first comes into our story when we talk to the Drifter near the start of the season's arrival, after you've cleared all the initial story stuff. He then says this to you, and the season's story around the dungeon begins to truly unfold.
And kill. Okay, game, we were supposed to be... Game, we were in the circle.
It doesn't know.
What do we need?
Any.
Yeah, sucks. We'll just go with whatever the first that comes up. Dark. Okay.
It's really light.
Well, that sucks.
Back over here, dude. I got some too, right?
Step in and kill.
It looks like we're going to be asking a question of the Nine, and they're most definitely going to formulate an answer to our simple but undeniably important question. Namely, what is the darkness? The answer will be found when we enter the Nine's realms through the derelict, the Drifter's ship. Once inside this unknown space, the very architecture and design of the earth and sky beneath us are built to inform. This place will tell us a tale, ultimately attempts to inform us of the future that awaits us, and the nature of light and dark. Such is the nature of prophecy. There are many lessons that we might learn from this place. The first of which is the effect of our actions, which the realm responds to. We can navigate the space around us in a variety of ways, leaving us sometimes in light and sometimes in shadow. The night echoes will be our consistent trial and a consistent challenge in this place, and killing them will have consequences no matter where one stands. Defeating a knight within shadow will drop dark modes. Defeating a knight when standing in the light will drop light modes. These are signifiers of challenges overcome and power
Too dark.
Power that we use to address our objectives within this strange world. Power that ultimately we will need to overcome the echoes of the foes that we face. And beyond all of this, it should be noted that seldom are there moments where
kill a knight or kill a guy.
I only got one.
Yeah.
The entire reason for actually progressing through this dungeon is made rather clear from close to the outset. After having understood how we can interact with shadow and light, we suddenly get a glimpse of our true objective.
Go.
We learn that we must face the echo of
I got one.
It is my belief that this hell represents the new leader of the House of Darkness,
Light.
Uranus, who has forsaken her old beliefs in the power of the great machine, and has instead embraced a new, more terrible power. We'll be talking about her.
We need another knife.
Fine though.
So we pursue the Kill's Echo
Killed the guy already.
through this strange realm, facing challenges to our endurance and strength,
There's some more.
slowly working our way towards a final confrontation. In the process of this assault, we uncover what I believe is a message from the Nine and a prophecy about the fate of our worlds.
And
We discover a vast, deserted place known as the Wasteland. Upon having completed the third encounter, one can discover the emissary within the wastes at various locations. Approaching her will often trigger dialogue between Eris and the Drifter. I'll give you an example of that right now.
I have 3 over here.
The hive
One side.
Shit.
Alright. Should be damaged? That's not good. That's bosses.
of darkness, as we are of the light. Her speed is slow. Maybe she's seen something.
It's my belief that these worlds left buried in the sands of the wasteland are representative of the worlds that will soon share a similar fate. Titan's arcologies have suffered a fate such as this before at the hands of the darkness. The cradle on Io is unquestionably of interest to the pyramids. The lighthouse on Mercury and the infinite forest potentially represent challenges, or even a communion with a long-slumbering force for the darkness. And Mars represents the seat of the war mind, one of humanity's greatest weapons. We know that when we face Eramis in the coming months, we will see these locations disappear from the director, but the reason narratively for the disappearance has not yet been given. I suspect that there's an ominous possibility, a possibility that these worlds will indeed be torn apart. Such is within the power of our enemy. Titan's arcologies could be sunk, the Braytech futurescape could be buried, the cradle on Io could be shattered and defiled, and the lighthouse on Mercury could be toppled and overrun. I do not believe that these places will survive. The Nine seem to predict as much.
Game is great.
Following the echo of the Kell through the wasteland, we discover a vast metaphorical seascape. A place crafted by the Nine with little bearing on the
It's
laws of
Jeff.
reality, much like the previous places we have seen within their space. But upon crossing the threshold of this final encounter, we will be confronted by the Kell's forces at their strongest. We will slay them, and we will work our way towards this effigy of Eramis, and purge it from the realms of the Nine. And in doing so, as we had done all the way before, we must utilize the powers obtained from both shadow and light. It is upon the ending of our trials that we are brought before the emissary once more, and are told the answer to our question.
That's some bloodlust, hero. It hit me when you were tearing that last pack of Taken apart. What the Nine are trying to say. Light, dark, it don't matter.
Light and dark are not the same.
Didn't say the same, just the difference don't matter.
Light and dark are not the same, but the difference between them does
Me
not.
the Zach.
My interpretation of this message is that the light and dark referred to here are not
on, Zach, me.
moral alignments
Jump up.
or goals
Up on Sparrow.
of travel
I don't know what to tell
or
you.
pyramid, but instead are the actual
It either
powers
wants a
of
Sparrow
light and
entity
dark.
or it wants...
In the process
I don't
of
know.
killing the Kell Echo, both were necessary to succeed. And in the process of defeating Eramis, we will inevitably find ourselves in a place where we
Pull out
must
vehicle.
wield
I don't know what to tell you.
such powers ourselves. This is ultimately the message of the Nine. Do not fear the
There we
shadow.
go.
Embrace it.
That's
and
dumb.
acknowledge that there is a greater
But-
power that we can obtain.
Where it wanted to
wielding
suck.
light and shadow.
It was like 10, like 20 feet in
One
the
final
air.
mystery remains
Oh,
for me
shit.
at least. This entire place is admittedly mysterious and strange, and so it would not be surprising if we revisit this place at some point. But for me, a question that lingers is this. In the final encounter, the first
cool, I
of
got
the four
joining
sides
allies,
of this
but not
room
really.
you see, there's a striking resemblance
kill
to the
myself.
court
Fuck
and
it.
throne of Queen Mara Sov of the Awoken. The context for this use of this room is missing. Seeing as it is not believed to be based on
Wait, is
Europa,
Bliss?
it makes me wonder if Eris will call upon her
Alright,
own
really?
ally, the Queen, in the process of defeating the
And-
locale of the House of Darkness.
Nope.
It makes me wonder further
Go.
if we might not see others with a connection
Alright,
to the throne.
yeah, light, dark, light.
Figures
Get
who
the
thus
dark
far
first.
have remained in shadows.
That's triple light, triple light.
And ultimately,
Switch to triple light. Alright, never mind.
that is a question for another time.
Alright, pick up the first
I'm
set.
sure soon we shall answer. But for now, that's
That is
it
dark.
from me.
I'm in light, sir?
Game is
Oh, I hate this game.
fair and balanced.
Hit the subscribe button and the bell next to subscribe.
I need more satellite.
Keep in mind as well that if you have your own thoughts, the comment section is always open to them, and there's plenty of discussion going around. Thank you so much for the incredible support, by the way, guys. Last season was absolutely phenomenal.
There's
We
that.
got, practically speaking, 100,000 views on every single new video except for 2 of them at the start of the season. And the other content that we did on the channel still went far past. We've got Doom videos up there with 300,000 views. We have T-Slip doing well as I expected to. and who generally have a channel community that shine through. With all that said, we are on the verge of becoming 8,000 subscribers. So to all of you who have been for the entire time, thank you very much. And for those of you who are just joining us on the journey, we'd be honoured to have you. But with all that said, know that your viewership, as always, is quite enough for me. And in the meantime, my name is Spike. Todo Garcia Adasapa. I'll see you soon.
Got him.
Oh my god.
I'll say that's like a 15 something if
I love it faster than the first time.
1539.
1539. Yeah. Not bad.